Everybody. Hey, everybody. It's Mike Kleonowitz coming to you live from my real estate office today from Right Way Outreach Ministries Incorporated. Um, you know, I want to thank everybody, first of all, because we have almost 500 subscribers, and that is kind of like the magic number on YouTube. Once you get 500 subscribers, and then you get so many hours of watch time. I think it's like 3,000 hours. We're at like 2,800. So we're getting really close. Once we get enough watch time hours and we have at least 500 subscribers, we can actually start getting paid from YouTube, which is awesome because all that money I get, I've already made the decision. Whatever comes in from YouTube, I'm just going to give at least 50% of it to my nonprofit organization, soon to be nonprofit organization that's a charity organization right now called Right Way Outreach Ministries. So, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you all today about who we are, what we do, tell you about an event that we have coming up, and let you know how you can participate with us and help us raise some funds and help us support some people locally in the Baltimore and Harford County areas in Maryland who don't have running water or um, electricity, that are outside and homeless or in a situation where they're facing homelessness. So we've really kind of reformed and redone our, I guess, what we're doing. So, as of now, we're not going to actually purchase a house because it's just going to take way too long and we have too many people that need to be helped. So we're actually partnering with some other avenues to make that happen. So first, I just want to say welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here today because I really do want to talk about something that's close to my heart, and that's Right Way Outreach Ministries. Who we are, why we got started, and where God's leading us now. We're a ministry. Our ministry started out with one simple mission to basically be the hands and feet of Jesus to people who are hurting, people who don't have a place to go, people who've been forgotten by society, and people who are desperately in need of someone to care for them. So, let me share one example of what an example of something that really kind of broke my heart. Just this past week, it's really like the whole reason our name started was because I've been going to several different churches and kind of looking for the right church that does things the right way. And I'm having a really hard time finding that because, they all talk like they help everybody and they talk like they do this and they do that. But, when it comes down to things, sometimes their fruit doesn't show what comes out of their talky talk. So I have this lady, I've been friends with her for probably about a little over 2 years or so, give or take, the time period. And she lives in a van. Now, she became homeless because it's kind of a long story, but bottom line is she had a daycare in her house. She took care of kids. She loves working with kids. She wound up getting cancer, like in the female area somewhere, and had to have treatment done. And when she got her treatment done, then she couldn't actually care for the kids. She couldn't physically like pick them up and move them where they needed to be and stuff. So she had to kind of give up the daycare, which meant giving up income. And, giving up the income, she lost that. And then her husband wound up leaving. So she was stuck with herself and her van and no other money. And she became homeless, not because of drugs, not because of alcohol, but because it's what happened when she got foreclosed on and tossed out of her house. So, she's been living in this van for probably like 5 years now, give or take. And she's struggling, man. Like, she has handicap tags now, because she has a spinal problem now. The way something either shifted or is growing or whatever, is causing her to have to use a walker now. so she can't like work a regular job, like even going to like a regular convenience store and standing on her feet for like 8 hours. She can't do that. So she needed to find a job that would allow her to kind of sit and do things. So she finally found a job in Harford County at a local elementary school. I'm not going to name the school because I don't want to say who she is, whatever. But she runs a daycare program, a before and after daycare program, and she's there early in the morning, and then gets time to do paperwork, and then has to come back in the afternoon after school and shut it down for the kids and all. So, I guarantee the school doesn't know that she's homeless. I guarantee the kids don't know she's homeless. I guarantee the people that are the parents of the children probably don't know she's homeless, because if they knew, they probably wouldn't have hired her in the first place. So at least God's helping her there and got her a job. But what I did this week is I reached out to three separate churches in the Harford County, Maryland area. And I basically emailed them all and I said, one simple request, right? you know, I'm not asking them for money. I'm not asking them for time. I'm not asking them for resources. I'm not asking them for really anything other than, is it okay if my homeless lady could park her van somewhere on their campus, even if it's hidden behind a building or something, overnight, so she could sleep and get some peace and quiet rest without having the police harass her and tell her she needs to leave and she can't be on the property, because right now she lives at a rest stop and it's very busy. It's probably not the safest place because there's all kinds of random people that walk past her car and stuff. And she's just trying to find a place where she can sleep, right? So I send these nice emails and I'm like, look, I'm not looking for a handout. I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for all I'm looking for is a parking spot, right? And out of all three churches, one, I'll be honest with you, one did not even respond to me. And this is like the third time now where I've contacted leadership at that specific church, and I'm not going to name names, but they all know who they are. They won't even respond to the email message. Like, but here's a regular person in the local community that it needs help. She doesn't have running water. She doesn't have electricity. She's got a van. Like, that's where she lives. So like, they're all concerned about going to Africa and saving all these kids in Nigeria or whatever, and giving them food and giving them water and giving them electricity and giving them summer camp things and all. Like, that's all great. But these are people that live right in your backyard, right under your nose, and you're saying, oh, I'm just going to ignore it. Because I'll tell you something, no response, it is a response. It's a response. It's loud and clear. It's actually more of a response than a response, is no response. So that just floored me, but it didn't, because they haven't responded with some other things that I contacted them about too. So what that shows me is, hey man, maybe you're not really who you say you are. Maybe I shouldn't go to your church anymore. So, it's on to the next one, right? So, one of them contacted me back pretty quickly. I have a pretty good relationship with the one pastor there, and he said, we unfortunately, we can't have her park here, but we might be able to get her into like a shelter or something. But let me tell you, this lady's not interested in being in a shelter. She don't want to be around other drug addicts and stuff. That's not who she is. She just wants to sleep in her van and have some peace and quiet. So like, how hard is it to get a parking spot, right? So that one basically said no, right? Said no. And then we had the third one that got back to me and said they were having some kind of meeting with the pastors and stuff yesterday, and they were going to be specifically discussing this situation. And they, as of now, which is about 24 hours after they contacted me yesterday, have not contacted me back. So I'm going to have to use a follow-up email there and see what the verdict is. But, My point is right. These churches talk about being the hands and being the feet of Jesus, and we're all supposed to be disciples of Christ and all this. Well, if Jesus ran the church and he had a homeless lady come to him and said, "Hey, I just want to get a parking spot on your campus somewhere. I'll be gone before anybody gets there in the morning. I'm not going to trash it. I'm not even going to tell any other homeless people about it. I just need some help until I can figure out a short-term housing solution," which is what we're working on for her, to help her out until she can get some money in place. Hopefully, with this new job she's got, she'll be able to pay off some of her debt that she has and then focus on finding housing or whatever. But we're trying to work with her for that. But like, what would Jesus do, right? Like, would Jesus be like, "Sorry, can't park here? Can't, nope, not here, not up in here. We don't want that. We don't want that here. We don't want that, that homelessness here," right? Like, we'll come and bring you a sandwich on Wednesday afternoon at the park. So just go meet us down at the park and we'll bring you some food then. Like, is that really helping these people, right? Like, seriously, y'all think that, putting a little hygiene baggie together and, giving them a little peanut butter sandwich or whatever. Like, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a good thing, but I mean, come on, right? Let's help these people out. So we came up with Right Way Outreach Ministries, and what we're doing is we're taking people who are homeless. We're taking people who are, and I'm kind of jumping around a little bit with what I have written down here, but we're here to assist people in need of short-term temporary housing, whether it's a hotel or an apartment, and that includes people coming off the streets, like homelessness. It includes people coming out of jail and prisons, right? That might have family that are like, "You can't stay with me, man. I'm sorry, you're bad news," or "Sorry, not here, can't come here," like, or they're from no, they don't have anybody in the area. So, like, I mean, what do you do with somebody who gets out of prison and they barely have, I don't even think they even have an ID. Maybe they get them like an ID, a state ID or something, but like, nobody's gonna hire him for a job, nobody's gonna give him housing, nobody's gonna give him anything, and it's like, come on, like, what do we do to help these people out? Throw them in a little halfway house or something, but what happens after that? Like, when it's time to kind of be on your own. So we're looking at people coming out of like halfway houses, we're looking at people coming out of rehab facilities, people that are basically in a situation where they need housing. So I'll give you another example of what we did for a lady. A couple weeks ago before church, there was this lady. I was sitting at a local convenience store. I'll say Wawa because I love Wawa. So I'm sitting at Wawa. I got my coffee and I got a little bite to eat. And I'm sitting there eating. And I look up in my rearview mirror in my car and I see this lady walking, behind me, and she's got a suitcase. And then I see a kid with her, like a teenager. And I'm like, what is going on here? I'm like, God, what do you want me to say to these people? Whatever. So I'm like, it's like 7:30 in the morning. Wind up going to talk to the lady. Turns out she works across the street at a local Waffle House, and she's all dressed in Waffle House clothes. And she literally looked like she had just worked like 40 hours straight. She was absolutely exhausted, eyes bloodshot. I mean, she looked like just hammered, and she needed some place to go. And so I started talking to her and found out she didn't have any money. She didn't get paid till Wednesday. It was Sunday, and she didn't know where she was going to stay. So she literally took her suitcase from the hotel she was staying at with her to work, goes to work, still don't know where she's going to stay. Her work won't front her any money because they used to do that, but they got a new manager who won't do that anymore. So she literally is working but has no money right now to be able to pay to get a hotel room. And I'm like, what do I do? Right? I don't know what to do. So, I gave her a little bit of money, told her to get some food and try to, I asked them if they wanted to come to church with me. They said no. So I said, all right, well, if you're still here when I come back, I'll see what I can do for you. So I wound up coming back after church. They were still there. I started talking to her about her hotel situation. I was like, well, won't he like just like let you square up with him on Wednesday when you get paid if you talk to him or whatever? She's like, no, they don't do that. I need a credit card. I don't have a credit card. So I was like, you know what? Fine. Let's just go to the hotel. So we go to the hotel. And we talk to the manager and we find out everything. And, I find out they have a daily rate, they have a weekly rate, and they have a monthly rate. And so I was like, well, what can we do for this woman? She gets paid on Wednesday, and so I was gonna help her out with one night, but then I wound up helping her out and I gave her a whole week. So I paid for a whole week, and that was through funds that we directly raised from t-shirt sponsors that we got. We got about 14 sponsors who sponsored our t-shirts. So we were able to order t-shirts and we were able to sell some t-shirts and we were able to raise some money that way, which is kind of grassroots. So we took, I think it was something about $500 I took, and we wound up putting this lady up in a hotel for a week. And I was like, huh, this is a good idea. Maybe we'll do something like this instead of, you know, um, buying a house, which is going to take forever to raise, like, 300, $400,000, make all that happen, get all the insurance and have all the stuff going on, and kind of craziness going on. So, I thought this would be a good idea. So, I talked it over with Sherri, and then I actually checked out. So I went back to the hotel, talked to them, made a deal with them, and we got it to like 1,900 a month for the hotel. It includes breakfast, room service, or room cleaning. They make the beds and stuff or whatever every day if you want. They'll come and clean the room and make it nice. And then there's a pool there. There's a fitness center there. They can use that stuff too. So it's like, this is a pretty nice place. But, so after church this Sunday, I was coming back down towards the Perry Hall area, and I was going down a road in Bel Air, and I found an apartment complex, and I was like, God kind of directed me to go back in there. So I was like, maybe he wants me to look and see what apartments cost and see if we can work something out with an apartment instead of the hotel. So I kind of went in, I saw it. It's a nice place, all brand new stuff. It's got, key fobs, it's got, a pool, it's got dog parks, they got outdoor grills, they got free coffee all day. They got all kinds of amenities and stuff, meeting rooms. They got a fitness center. They got, all kinds. It's like its own little community right there. And so I found out, the deal for like a 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, a 3 bedroom. We were thinking about, and then I thought about, well, what if we do like a 3 bedroom and then we could put 3 people in there as roommates? So we're kind of working on that scenario too. But what we're really working on right now is fundraising and trying to raise some funds so we can get some funds to be able to help these people, um, and put these people that we find in our travels, that God puts in our path that need help, like my friend Sherri, who's living in her van. She's going to be like our first one. I was also informed somebody else I know from a long time ago is in a rehab facility right now who may actually need to do something like this too. So we might have 2 people, but it adds up, man. And the hotel's 1,900, so it's 1,900 a piece per month. So, what we're trying to do is give these people a 6-month free stay somewhere, cap it at 6 months, because this is a hand up program, not a hand out program. And our rules are very, very simple with what we're doing. So you get 6 months to stay for free. We're working at maybe a subsidy thing where they pay us a little bit from their jobs, but I think I really want to try to raise enough money to keep it free for them for 6 months and work out a deal where they can stay and they follow the rules of the place, whether it be the hotel or the apartment complex or whatever. And then they're going to have to follow our rules, and we got 2 rules, right? 2 rules. So our rules are very simple. um, Follow the rules of the apartment or the hotel, and they must attend a weekly Bible studies, either on a one-on-one, like coaching session, or in small groups if we have a small group at a particular hotel or apartment complex. And number 2, they must seek full-time employment, because the whole idea is we want to get them jobs, and then we also want to hook them up with social services. We want to get them medical assistance. We want to get them, cell phones if they need them. We want to get them food stamps, EBT cards if they qualify for them. We want to get them maybe on the list to get some Section 8 housing vouchers, because the one apartment complex I went to that's brand new does take housing vouchers. So we're going to try to get them hooked up with that program too, and really try to help these people out. So to make this mission possible, we're currently working on fundraising and raising awareness. And one of the biggest events we got coming up is going to be our, and you might see these flyers around. Let me see where I put it. Oh, here it is. So we got flyers for our stuff. You're going to see these around at like the Wawas, the post office, the Paneras, all that. You scan this little QR code right here. It'll take you to the event page. And then this is the website address. If you want to type in the website address to come to the event, it's going to be at Day John Vineyards on Friday night, November 7th. We're also giving away 50 free tickets. So if you enter the code Right Way in on the Eventbrite page, then we're giving away some tickets for that. 50 tickets for free. Then we're going to put some on discount for a discounted purchase, and then we're going to wind up selling full purchase, which is $75. So we'll probably run a special for like 50% off tickets for a little while until we get closer to the event. Um, it's going to be a really fun night. We're going to have wine tasting, custom wine from the vineyard, delicious food, probably Mission Barbecue or something just as good as that. So come hungry. And we're also going to have some live music to enjoy. Exciting part, we're going to give away the 50 free tickets to help get the word out. After that, tickets will be at a discount, then full price. But right now, you can grab 2 tickets if you go to our Eventbrite page. Enter the code Right Way on the Eventbrite page. You can register for your tickets. That's it. 2 free tickets, no strings attached. And then ways to support, raise funds. Obviously, once the tickets do go on sale and the 50 free tickets are gone and we're selling them, we're going to make some money there. We're going to try to do a 50-50 drawing at the event to make some money there. We're going to be selling some T-shirts for $25 a piece to make some money there. And that'll be some opportunities to donate. And then you can also donate directly at the event. We're going to have QR codes that you can scan, go right from your phone or app, and go to our GoFundMe page, make a donation if you want. And if you can't make the event, you can actually go to our GoFundMe page and make a donation. I mean, $5, $10, $20, whatever you got, man, helps. Obviously, $500 donations are great, but so are $5 and $10. So any kind of donation you can throw our way is going to help us be able to help these people, and benefit them directly and get them off the street and into a place where they can start again. So I'm going to put our GoFundMe information in the actual description on this video. So it'll be in, if you click on YouTube, you click on the show more or whatever button, it'll pull up the description. I'm going to have the address in there. You can copy and paste that into your browser. Make a donation if you want. We'd really appreciate that. We're also looking for corporate sponsorships for the event right now. So basically, we're calling them all corporate sponsorships for like $500 sponsorships. You'll get recognition at the event. If you want to have like a table or something where you can give away, your items or business cards or whatever, we have like for instance, we have a window and door company who's going to be there at the event. And they're going to be having their display of their windows and doors so people can check them out, see if they want to get them for their house or whatever. So it might help them or whatever. So if you have like an insurance business or a bank or, wherever you're trying to attract people, sponsor $500, you can have a little table booth, whatever you want. We'll give you recognition there at the event. I'm probably going to be getting like big signs made up, like retractable signs for all the sponsors as well. So they'll be out throughout the venue, so you'll be able to see that. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do right now. So just trying to raise some funds, just trying to hit this grassroots marketing effort. We are a 100% volunteer run organization. So we do not have anyone who takes a salary right now at the organization. All the money just goes right back to the people, minus some very small expenses that we have for ordering like t-shirts and legal fees and with attorneys and filing the paperwork for the nonprofit status and some of that, legal jargon and all that, whatever. That stuff isn't free. They discounted their services, but we still have to pay a little bit for that. So that money goes there. So, here's what I'm asking, pray for us, pray for our organization, pray for Sherri, pray for every man and woman out there who needs a safe place, tonight. So like when you're sitting at home and you're putting on Thursday night football and you're sitting back and cracking your drink or whatever and just relaxing and think about the people who don't have that. Think about the people that are sleeping in the bushes or getting out of prison, don't have a place to go, and you're put them on your heart. We're an organization that's going to be helping these people kind of start fresh and try to get a new start on life. So show up to the event, come to our wine mixer on November 7th, Friday night. Grab those tickets while they last. There's going to be a link in the description to get tickets from our Eventbrite page as well. So grab your tickets. And also, if you can give, whether it's through GoFundMe, a sponsorship, or at the event, your generosity helps us be the hands and feet of Jesus in a world that desperately needs it. I mean, I don't even want to say because of the events that happened, but I think everybody kind of is starting to get this feeling of we really just need love right now, right? Like there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of I guess splits and pitting against each other in society right now. You got people, who hate each other and fight with each other and all. And it's just all it is one big distraction. And the big people who run the world love seeing, the separation and love seeing the distraction because as long as we as a people are distracted, we don't see what they're really doing to us and how they're exploiting us and taking our money from us in all kinds of subtle little ways, like getting us addicted to mental health drugs, right? And then selling the legalized drug dealers on the street corners like I'm not even going to say names, but you all know who they are. The little pharmacy companies on the corner, every single corner. Why are they there? They're legalized drug dealers, and the doctors make the prescription. They get you hooked on the drugs, and then you got to come back and see the doctor. So they get paid. It's like insurance for them. And then the pharmacy, sends you text alerts when your medication's ready, and they get paid there. And everybody's getting paid, for you and all your suffering. You know what I mean? So, that's kind of what I'm talking about. What's going on with all these big organizations that rule the world? They want us distracted and stressed and having problems. And the thing is, when you have love and when you have Jesus, you don't have fear, you don't have anxiety, you just have joy, you have peace, you have happiness, you have love, and that's what Jesus wants for us. That's what Charlie wanted for us. He had a different kind of way of approaching that, but that was kind of the message he wanted to put out is like Billy Graham, like Jesus is real, he's here for us, he loves you, he loves every one of us, right? So, we should be trying to live our lives and mimic how Jesus treated people too. That's what the whole point is. So that's what we're doing. That's what our organization is all about, is trying to do it the right way, not the way everybody else does it. So if you can, like I said, hit us up on GoFundMe. The link's in the description. We really appreciate it. Every little donation helps. I can't thank you enough. but together we can be part of some real stories of hope, healing, and transformation. Because at the end of the day, like I said, that's exactly what Jesus would do. He would help people who need help. Um, he wouldn't be worried about money because, God would just give him whatever he needed, to take care of these people. So that's what we're hoping. We're hoping God takes care of us and gives us what we need, from all the people out there who watch this and say, this is an organization that we should have more of. This is kind of like what churches should be doing. This is what people should, how they should be running a charity organization instead of taking some exorbitant salary and driving a Lamborghini around or a Hummer or whatever. It's ridiculous how these organizations just waste the donations and money that comes in. We want to use it to help people the right way, like that lady who needed the week-long hotel stay, until she just needed a week to get back on her feet. And look what happened there. Well, she got a nice, time to sleep and stuff. So all right, it's been 30 minutes. I'm sorry for running a little over. I was trying to keep this to like 10 minutes, but you know how I get. You know how I am. All those that watch me, you know how these things go. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you for listening. God bless you. And I sincerely hope to see each and every one of you at the event. But keep in mind, we can only have 200 people at this event because it's a smaller venue. So the first 200 tickets that go, that's going to be it. So get your tickets, 50 for free right now. I don't know how many are left. I think there's like maybe 20 left or something like that because I think 30 have already been taken. So once those are gone, we're going to probably run half off special for the other tickets for a little while. And then it'll be full price as we get, within a couple weeks of the event. We're doing this because we want to sell the tickets quickly for not that much money, because we want to get a good head count so we can get enough food for everyone from the caterer, make sure we have enough wine for everybody from the vineyard, and all that. So, but once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. God bless, each and every one of you. Um, and thank you for even considering making a donation to us and knowing that your donations are going to go to the right place, the right way, to the right people. That's what we do at Right Way Outreach Ministries. So thank you for watching. Take care. God bless. See you later.